Hi, I'm Kathy and welcome to Kids Create. And this month, since there's Halloween, this month we are going to do scary poems or poems about Halloween. So, first one I got was called Room on the Broom and by Julia Donaldson. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black and a long ginger hair in a braid down her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off her hat. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with a hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? Yes, cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held on to her hat. But away blew her bow from her braid, just like that. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with a bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied her braid in the bow, I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch, so the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The bird shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky on the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of a pond leaped a dripping wet frog with the dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her coat, I am a frog as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me? Yes, said the witch. So the frog bounded on. The witch tapped her broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog, and down went tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broom flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. I'm a dragon, as mean as can be, and a witch with French fries tastes delicious to me. No, cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. Help, cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew near with a glint in his eye and said, just this once I'll have witch without fries. But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of the ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yow and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched and it strode from the ditch. And it said to the dragon, "Buzz off, that's my witch." The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he sputtered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly." And he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog. Down jumped the cat, and "Phew," said the dog. And "Thank you, oh thank you," the grateful witch cried. "Without you, I'd be in a dragon's inside." Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone, something to throw in." So the frog found a lily, the cat found a cone, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, with the witch stirred them well, and while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. "Yes," cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broom, and whoosh, they were gone. The next book I'm going to read is by Megan McDonald, called Who Is It? Now, I don't know if you've ever heard any noises and not known what they are. It can be kind of scary. That's what happened with this owl. Mother Owl first heard a sound just before dark, a faint like a tickle of wind in the trees. Softer than a kitten scratching on the barn door. She knew that sound from somewhere. Where? Twilight. A rimmet of pink paled the sky. Fireflies flickered like candles. Chill air let her know. Night. Whoo-hoo! Father Owl gone in search of food. Mother Owl blinked once, twice. It was time for her to stir now. Feathers tucked around her, been keeping eggs warm all day. There it was again. No more than a whisper. Gruff, gruff. Was it a puppy barking far away? Meow, meow. A kitten crying gone astray? She swiveled her head from side to side, looking, listening. A mouse scurrying across the barn floor. The creaking and sighing of an old barn door. She flew silently from her nest in the loft, soundless over the farm, a ghost owl white against the black sky. Could it be a snake that only she could see? A raccoon climbing up a tree? Chirr, chirr. Mother Owl knew the dark, its sounds. What was this secret? A whoosh of a dragonfly's wings in the dark? A woodpecker tapping tat 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 at a tree's bark? near or far, far or near. Quack, quack, hoo, quack, quack, hoo, 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 loud and fast. Father Owl. All night long, Mother Owl circled the fields and returned out, over, away, and back. Sweeping, swooping through the trees she searched, then flew back to her eggs, her nest, wondering, waiting. A splinter of light, no more than a sliver, filtered through the cracks of the old barn. Bits of dust danced, floated in the first light, then settled. Crack, crack. The sound of dry twigs being broken, near, not far. Round and white, the first egg swayed and jostled and tipped. Shh, the baby owl called to its mother inside the shell. Click, 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 click. A crack, fine in the vein of a new leaf, then out, out, out it came, eyes closed, downy as milkweed. Grf, grf, no, no. Yes, chur, chur. Tat-a-tat, tat-a-tat, tat-a-tat. Crack, shh. Click, 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 click. The sounds of her new nestling, right there all the time. Clack, clack, clack. Father Owl snapped his beak, spread his wings, watching. Mother Owl dried her new baby, snuggled in closer and kept it warm, waiting 4 more eggs to hatch. Dawn. So, hearing noises can get scary, but this is about the little old lady who wasn't afraid of anything. It's by Linda Williams. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect herbs and spices and nuts and seeds. She walked so long and so far, it started to get dark. There was only a sliver of moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. Suddenly she stopped. Right in the middle of the path were 2 big shoes, and the shoes went clomp, clomp. Get out of my way, you 2 big shoes. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady. And on she walked down the path. But behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. A little farther on, the little old lady stumbled into a pair of pants. And the pants went wiggle, wiggle. Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I am not afraid of you, said the little old lady, and she walked on. But behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp, and 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. Further still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake. Get out of my way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady, and on she walked, a little bit faster. But behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp, and 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, and 1 shirt go shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon 2 white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod. Get out of my way, you 2 white gloves and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you, she said, and on she walked, just a little faster. But behind her she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. 1 shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. And 1 hat go nod, nod. Oh, by now the little old lady was walking at quite a fast pace. She was very near her cottage when she was startled by a very huge, very orange, very scary pumpkin head. And the head went, boo, boo. This time, the little old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran, but behind her, she could hear 2 shoes go clomp, clomp. 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. 1 shirt go shake, shake. 2 gloves go clap, clap. 1 hat go nod, nod. And 1 scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. The little old lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could and didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage with the door locked. She sat in her chair by the fire and she rocked and she rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage before the knock, knock on the door. Should she answer it? Well, she was not afraid of anything. So she went to the door and opened it. And what do you think she saw? 2 shoes go clomp, clomp, and 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, and 1 shirt go shake, shake, and 2 gloves go clap, clap, and 1 hat go nod, nod, and 1 scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. I'm not afraid of you, said the little old lady bravely. What do you want anyway? Well, we've come to scare you. You can't scare me, said the little old lady. Well, then what's to become of us? The pumpkin head suddenly looked very unhappy. I have an idea, said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The pumpkin head nodded, and its face seemed to brighten. The little old lady said good night and closed the door and whistled on her way to bed. And the next morning she woke up early. She went to her window and looked out into her garden. And what do you think she saw? 2 shoes go clomp, clomp, and 1 pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle, and 1 shirt go shake, shake, and 2 gloves go clap, clap, and 1 hat go nod, nod, and 1 scary pumpkin head go boo, boo, and scare all the crows away. And my last book is by Peter Bentley and Helen Oxenbury, and it's called Jack and the Dragon. Jack, Zack, and Casper were making a den, a mighty great fort for King Jack and his men. A big cardboard box, an old sheet, and some sticks, a couple of trash bags, and a few broken bricks. A fine royal throne from a ragged old quilt, a drawbridge, a flag, and a castle was built. Prepare to do battle, brave knights, said King Jack. Protect your king's castle from dragon attack. They spent the whole day fighting dragons and beasts and returned to their stronghold for fabulous feasts. We'll all sleep the night in the fort, said King Jack. Then a giant came by and went home with Sir Zack. "Two can fight dragons, no problem," Jack said. Then another giant came and took Casper to bed. Wrapped up in his blanket, Jack sat on his throne. "All right then," he said, "I'll fight dragons alone." There's a strong gust of wind made the trees start to quiver. "It's nothing," thought Jack, with a hint of a shiver. A mouse scampered over the roof. Skitter, scurry. "It's nothing," thought Jack. "There's no reason to worry." "Up," croaked a frog. "It's nothing," thought Jack, as he switched on his light in the deepening black. "Too-hoo!" called an owl. "It's nothing," Jack said, as he pulled up his blanket right over his head. Then suddenly, brave King Jack's heart skipped a beat. He could hear something coming. A thing with 4 feet. It was outside the drawbridge. King Jack gave a yelp. "A dragon, a dragon! Mommy, Dad, help!" He wished he was anything else but a king as the drawbridge fell open, and there stood the thing. "We're sorry," smiled Mommy. "We gave you a fright, but it's time for brave kings to come in for the night. And kings who fought dragons all day need a bath," said Dad as he lifted King Jack off the path. "I knew you weren't really a dragon," yawned Jack as he bravely rode home on the big giant's back. Well, thank you for joining me for Kids Create, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have a happy and safe Halloween.